Have you ever gotten on a flight at the airport and always wondered how to become a professional airline pilot? Well, I'm a certified flight instructor and I'm here at Carlsbad Airport today to explain to you the long path it takes to become a professional pilot. Pilots have a lot of responsibility for the safety of their passengers that requires many years of experience. There are two routes to take, either the military route or the civilian route. Active duty commitment can potentially be up to 10 years, and flight positions are extremely hard to come by. The civilian route, which I personally have taken, is as follows. The first step is to obtain your first class FAA medical license. There are designated medical examiners all over the states who specifically grant pilots a clean bill of health in order to fly planes. These doctors check for diabetes, high blood pressure, vision and reflexes, just to name a few. There are also second and third class medicals that you may be eligible to receive, but to work as a commercial pilot for an airline or corporation, you will be required to obtain a first class. So essentially, it is better to apply for one the first time to ensure you're eligible for one. After you receive your medical, the second step is to obtain your private pilot certificate. The minimum amount of flight time to obtain your private pilot certificate is 40 hours, but the FAA average is around 65 to 70 hours. If you have the money and can be taking lessons full-time, the more knowledge you will be able to retain and be able to finish your private pilot certificate quicker. As far as cost goes, plane rentals for a small single-engine airplane can average between $100 to $150 an hour, and this is coupled with the cost of a certified flight instructor. Flight instructors may charge between $45 to $100 an hour depending upon their level of experience. Flying lessons can be extremely costly, so be sure to budget around $200 per flight hour. Third step, after you obtain your private pilot certificate, you continue taking lessons to work on your instrument rating, so you can learn to fly in the clouds with reference strictly to the flight instruments. Your instrument rating requires a minimum of 40 hours of instrument conditions as well as 50 hours of pilot in command cross-country time. This rating allows you to become a much safer pilot because it grants you the knowledge to fly in non-visual conditions. Many private pilots have gotten into accidents because they went out flying on a beautiful day only to have the weather suddenly change and fly into clouds. Without an instrument rating, these pilots would have no idea how to handle their aircraft. The fourth step is to obtain your commercial pilot certificate. In order to obtain your commercial license, you will need 250 hours of flight time. The commercial license requires 10 hours of instruction in a complex aircraft, which means a faster single-engine aircraft with a landing gear. This certificate also requires 50 hours of cross-country time and 100 hours of pilot in command time. The purpose of this license is to get the student pilot accustomed to flying a faster, more complicated aircraft. After the commercial single-engine certificate is completed, you can proceed to work on your multi-engine rating. The multi-engine rating is essential and allows you to fly an aircraft with two engines. Most regional airlines will only hire pilots with an absolute minimum of 100 hours of multi-engine time and a minimum of 1,000 hours total time. After this long path to completing your private, instrument, commercial, and multi-engine ratings, you have the option to obtain your certified flight instructor certificate, which provides you with the opportunity to teach students and share your knowledge with them. The Certified Flight Instructor Certificate, or CFI, is often described as one of the most challenging ratings because of the level of knowledge that is required upon taking the FAA check ride. During the check ride, you sit with an FAA examiner for anywhere from 2 to 8 hours and are not only asked a series of questions, but expected to instruct on every subject related to the private and commercial pilot certificates. After you complete the oral exam, you get into the airplane to take the flight exam. The FAA examiner will stall the airplane and try to simulate an actual lesson. The failure rate is extremely high for this rating. There are many pros of becoming a professional pilot, which include travel benefits and a potential of earning a six-figure salary after many years of experience. Cons include extended periods of time away from home, long work hours, and a high level of stress. In conclusion, pilot salaries have been cut back to as little as $19,000 a year, and unfortunately it is not the glamorous job it used to be. But if you persevere, it can pay off and you will eventually find the right job.